What's going on, everyone? My name is BoIt, and I am currently shoutcasting a best of 3 series between TSM and MG. Currently 1-0 for TSM. So we're going to see if the 3 players of MG is going to be better than the 3 players of TSM. So spawning on Team 1, playing, we're going to call this Team 1, playing as Zeus, TSM fan. I've not seen him play Zeus before, so we'll see how it goes for him. The yellow player today, playing Ranos, TSM 2 sick. I have no idea who this kid is. Hopefully he's good. I assume he is. He's on TSM. And TSM player, of course, playing Zeus. Our opponents today, again, is MG Civ Boss playing Ranos. His partner today is MG Rangers playing ISIS, back to his standard, and MG in Division playing Ranos. So there we go, two players who I might not know who are. They might be Smurfs of the account I know, or they could just be one of the lesser known players in the community who rising stars, who knows. So the map is Mediterranean, so we do have all of this fish in the middle, and we can, it's just so important to get that, at least fight for it until you can start grabbing town centers, because I always believe that at this game, these docks, they cost 100 wood, but they're worth a town center. They're worth a town center in the early game. Because you can produce extra villages. Like, it's not the population, it's the village count. You can get up so much quicker. And we can see, we'll go through and just talk about all the build orders of all the players. Looks like TSM player throwing more than 4 villages on wood, so he's actually not going for a fast up. If you're going to be advancing faster, Zeus, you're only going to throw 4 villages on wood, and the rest on food going to be up to about 410. He's gotten 5 on wood, might even 6, so probably looking at 430 to 515 sort of advance time. 2 sick, probably going to go for a 430 advance, looks like, with those 3 villages on food already. The Zeus player, again, he's got 5 villages on wood, so we're going to probably see 430 to 515 advance time, depending on how good his income is. The Uranus player playing green, actually maybe a 5-minute up, though you can, I'm pretty sure you can pull a 430 if you start like this, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to guess 5 minutes up time. ISIS player, I can just guess he's going for a 5-dog boom, because it's the only viable thing to do on this map as ISIS, really. Needs to drop a mining camp though, so that villager will run back to the town center as it does. If you ever forget to throw up a mining camp and you don't want that 8 gold to sink into your economy, what you can do is you can build that mining camp and then shift click onto the medium gold mine. It won't dump it in. It'll go straight to the gold mine and start accumulating more gold, so it'll dump that 10 gold in straight away. The red player, probably also doing that similar 430 or 5-minute upgrade. So let's check out TSM place. Actually throwing up his temple. He's got a good amount of fishing ships already out. Already got 5. Actually stopped making them. He needs to throw up a house, so he will get housed. Actually, he did choose to only put 5 villages total on wood, so he is going to be doing some relatively quick advance. I'm going to suggest it's probably going to be 430 to 445, and he's going to throw up probably 3 docks in order to compete with an Uranus production. Our yellow player, where is he? TSM sick. Yep, he's actually still got that village coming up, but he is gearing up. He's got a lot of food. He's got the 3, 5, 6 fishing ships already, so he's probably going to advance now. Actually stopping the production of those villages, and he's going to be advancing probably through Prometheus, maybe through Oceanus though, because of those strong things. Nope, he is getting Prometheus, so that's very smart. I'm going to be able to harass a little bit with those Prometheans and then get everything else that he needs to. Really hope he builds an economic guild. I hate people who don't build economic guilds on this map. Getting hand axe is just so powerful. It gives you so many resources. We can see, let me just go back to TSM players, probably advancing by now. We can see what he's going through. Athena, we've got 2 sick going through Prometheus. Rangers actually hasn't advanced yet, but he has got 3 docks already, so he's at standard. In Division going through Prometheus. Civ Boss through Prometheus, I'm sounding like a broken record, and Fen through Athena. So we can see that Athena is the standard choice for Zeus on this map, and Prometheus is the standard for Uranus. Now what would have been interesting is if one of the Zeus players went Hermes, and they both, and the other one went Athena, and they both fast heroic. This would have meant that they could have used the ceasefire to get to the heroic age and then started spamming Scala, both of them, and only one of them would have been disadvantaged by god powers. So I really think that Ceasefire is one of the strongest team game god powers because it just has so much versatility. We can actually see that Rangers still got villagers on food, so he's probably going to be going straight to the heroic cage, going through Bast, throwing down a monument, probably even going to neglect the water and just grab 3 town centers right away. Would not be a bad move. You can see our Uranus player already harassing TSM Fen. He's actually already got, I hope he's building adjacent. Okay, whenever you, just as a quick tip, whenever you're playing Zeus and you're versing a Uranus player, you need to queue that Jason up right away because these will do so much damage if you don't, and a Jason will pick him up easy. It's not even a problem. You can see a little bit of a gauge going over here. TSM Fan actually, player actually has less boats than Civ Boss, and his micro is not actually that great. He's losing a boat there. All these Barium's going to be doing plenty of damage. However, one boat lost from both. Both are probably microing relatively decent. However, it just looks like there's so many more Bareems than triremes, just because they have that small resource cost. There's a little bit of engage going on over here. Promethean coming in forward from who's sick, trying to prevent these guys from doing anything. As the Minotaur comes in, actually dies. He hasn't lost a single unit. That extremely good micro by the green player. As a shockwave going on the Bareem over here, and he's just trying to micro in here. However, the Doc's shooting all of those arrows onto these units, and a little bit of micro needs to happen here. This Bareem is getting focused, and he does manage to pull back in time, but does lose it unfortunately. Shockwave going down on TSM play. He's going to have to retreat out of it. Does lose 2 boats for the price of 0, so he is falling behind quite significantly here. He's only got 2 docks as well, so he's not going to be able to produce triremes that quickly. We can see this fight still going on over here, and it looks like they're probably a little bit overcommitted here, just because there's so many docks here firing. Look at them all. MG Rangers actually already going through Nephthys, going to be able to start pumping out cabinets to help out, and then finally the siege boats in the heroic age. Holy shoot, that's Civ Boss has a ridiculous amount of Bareems there. There's nothing TSM player can do but retreat back to his docks. He does not want to get aggressive at the moment. You can actually see he's on 51 supply as opposed to Civ Boss's 75. 75 is actually supply that needs to put down a house. A little bit of engage coming over here again, just trying to pick off boat after boat, trying to pick off fishing ships as well, when you should be trying to pick off these cabinets and Bareems, as many as you can. Too thick, got a bunch of Bareems though, just because he's got those cheap ships. Ridiculous amount of cheapness. Docks trying to be pumped down at the moment, but I'm not going to be able to get them. Going to have to retreat out of here. I don't know why they're in here, because you can actually dodge these arrows if you run your ships back and forth, and they're sort of just sitting there tanking damage for no reason. As a little bit of engagement, a nice concave for TSM player. However, there's just so many boats for Civ Boss. Holy crap. I don't think that TSM player is going to be able to hold here unless these boats come over here and aid him, which they are, and Civ Boss is going to have to get out of here. Cannot stay here, and as he does, he sees them coming right away, and he's gone. He's going to take a couple of volleys from these Bareems, but nothing too substantial. He can get out of there unscathed, and he did actually make a massive dent in TSM players' military right there. However, he does have a nice concave as well, but we have to remember there is restoration still, so he can use that. Both players can use that to get massive advantage over water if they want. But then again, it's also very strong on land in the later stage of the game. It's basically keeps your army a lot invincible for about 5 seconds or something. Finally, Warbarge is coming out, and this is why I suggested that fast heroicing wouldn't be a bad idea, and one of these players should have gone through Hermes, because the counter to an Egypt fast heroic on water is a Zeus fast heroic on water. Oh my god, it's so hard to deal with if you don't have like bountiful amounts of cabinets. Warbarge is doing nothing to Skylar, and they're finally going to come in and going to start dominating over all of these Bareems. They have literally the worst crush armor of a unit in the game. Granted, they are boats, but they are housed as a human unit, so they got the worst siege armor of any human unit in the game. So Warbarge is going to be dealing ridiculous amounts of damage. But then again, you have to remember, if you're microing this perfectly, Warbarges miss. If you can pick up the unit which they're focusing down and they're moving. Okay, so see, look at that. They actually were focusing down that frame. They hit that one, because that's how the mechanics of the game work. So interesting micro possibilities. We're just going to be watching this fight go down. I don't like it for the TSM team, just because these war barges are so tanky, and if they do get focused, then the triremes and the bareems of the MG team are going to do so much damage. However, there's just so many bareems and archer ships right here. It's ridiculous amounts. But again, like I said, these war barges just taking so much damage. MG Rangers casting a Ancestors Eclipse, going to be taking a bunch of villages here. Actually, might not get that many because they're really close. He's probably just going to be causing some idle villager time in this town center. It's never a bad move just to garrison units in for a little bit, villagers in for a little bit, just because I don't like that at all. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're losing a little bit more villagers right there. As I said, it's always okay to garrison your villages when someone uses Ancestors Eclipse. It's such a strong god power, and if you lose more than I think 6 villages, it pays for itself. So, but if you lose none, then it's only 30 seconds, 35 seconds of idle villager time, which is fine. You can deal with that. A little bit of skirmish going on here, but it looks like Sibot's going to be fine to deal with this. Has enough bareems over there to deal with what Yellow had. A little bit of raids going on over here, going to be picking off a couple of these fishing ships, which is good considering how many villages Blue just lost then. So if we can pick up a couple of those fishing ships, that's going to set Rangers back a little bit, but I can assume Rangers has a bunch of wood. So you're just going to be able to get those fishing ships back as soon as possible, so long as he remembers to do it, which is the big thing. Normally you train a fishing ship and it's there to live forever. If you get raided on water, then it's not generally normal in a 1v1 to get raided on water. It's a big commitment, and if it doesn't work, you'll set yourself so far behind. But on a 3v3 map, it's not. You're definitely going to kill some fishing ships, and you can just sort of run around and raid all you like. So basically, how AOT works on water is, if you win water, you need to classical fight and grab town centers and grab fishing ships some more. However, if you lose, you just need to grab town centers, and you try and compete economically while defending with as minimal units as possible. If you can produce some units, they should be wood units, and you should be spending all food on villages. You can actually see in Division preventing any of these raids. Actually, no, that's MG in Division actually putting some aggressive pressure in over here. However, the hoplites of TSM fan probably going to be enough to deal with this. So long as he micros this correctly, a shockwave going on onto those hammer can be enough. And we can see a little bit of a force gathering over outside TSM player's base, but he'll be fine with defending that because he is a baller like that. Nice micro by in Division, actually pulling those Prometheans back, preventing these units from attacking for quite some time while the medium terminal were dealing a bunch of damage to those hoplites. However, I think there's enough units to deal with this. However, this goldmine is quite exposed, so if there isn't, he's going to have a rough time. However, these heroes going to be massive tanks, going to do plenty of damage, picks them off, and then he might be okay. However, looks like there was enough units for the Greek player to finish off that Uranus army, just because they have no counters to those hoplites until you start getting Chariot Ballista in en masse. Looks like TSM players still picking off fishing ship after fishing ship. I love this, it's so strong. Every time you pick off a fishing ship, that's 50 wood down the drain, and there's no reason to be letting this happen. These bareems need to get over here and just kill these. However, free reign on the water as TSM player does manage to get up this town center, which is quite a big win for him considering it is his forward town center. That means that the enemy team's classical fight and boom's not going to be that efficient. Sivbot's actually grabbing 2 town centers at the moment. We know what he wants to do. He wants to go straight to the Titan Age. So he's in Division. He's actually already... Actually, no, he's only got those 2. He's actually... Looks like Teal's actually stolen a town center. I don't like this if your partner is competent level. Just because you set them so far behind and you don't get that far in front, the villagers production is why you want to do it. You want to get that extra villager production to get more economy to purchase more stuff. If you have more economic upgrades, then it's worth it if you like the new partner, and then you might want to delete it later in the game to give the population and village production back to your partner, and so you can catch up a little bit. But in general, it's not a great thing. So hopefully they let green take that town center. We'll see if that happens. Has it been scouted? It has been scouted, so they know it's there. The big thing right now is TSM Fen going to be able to grab this town center? If he does, then this map, no matter what just happened for the past 14 minutes, this game is even if TSM Fen can grab that town center. But if he can't, then it is obviously in favor of this team. So we're going to see, I wouldn't be surprised if players actually already going to the case actually doesn't have the resources, been spending it quite efficiently on military and units and hopefully a quick upgrade as well. We'll just quickly check that. He has none. Well, he has archaic ones, which I can't complain, but I can complain because for 15 minutes of the game, time to buy some upgrades. It's also never a bad thing to delay villages for maybe half a minute just to get that extra food if you need that food to get an economic upgrade, because it pays for itself really well, instead of just waiting to max out villages before you get those classical upgrades or heroic upgrades, or waiting to max out population before you do that same thing. So a little bit of a stagnant moment over here, however. Looks like the ISIS player and the Iranus player pushing in here, and looks like yellow doesn't actually have any units. Oh, there they are. A nice shockwave going on by Indivision, actually going to be able to kill off a bunch of these Zeus units. However, they just do so much damage because they're really strong. It's kind of ridiculous how powerful they are. He's going to have to get out of there though. But it looks like 2-6 probably going to be able to come in here and save the day a little bit. And we do see the town center going up for the green or artist play, so that's nice of them to let him have that. It is the right choice as well. We can now see a little bit of skirmishes going on over here. TSM player not feeling 100% confident fighting over here, but this Scorpion getting out of position. If they can surround that, it's going to be huge. 150 wood, 22 favor is nothing to scoff at. Losing that for nothing would be massive, but he was paying attention a little bit. And the poison, that's going to make these units effectiveness just diminish so much. Look at those units on low HP. The next couple of volleys from those 10 are going to really do some massive damage. And we can see that TSM players trying is still alive doing damage. That's ridiculous. And we can also see that Rangers hasn't rebuilt fishing ships. He's been focusing too much on land when he should have been producing a couple of fishing ships or something like that. It looks like this town center might get up. If you ever see a Pharaoh empowering your town center and you want to stop it from getting up, just attack it. Send one unit to attack it. It's ridiculous how fast a Pharaoh makes stuff train. A little bit of mini micro going on here, putting it back and forth, trying to do as much damage as possible without taking any damage. A restoration going on here. They know this place is important, and he's the only person who hasn't got a town center bar 2-6 town center, which is right there. So they're going to be trying to grab that. I think that the restoration is going to be enough to push through here. Got to stop that palace from going up and that Migdal stronghold. Don't want either of them to be up shooting arrows in their face. See if they do manage to take that out. Again, these villagers are taking out this palace. However, I think there were enough units just to take it down instantly. It was up for a little bit. It's going to be able to kill up 2 units, and the palace not paying for itself at all. Nice decision by Fen. A little bit of a raid going on over here, preventing these villagers from mining on that gold. They're going to have to move over here to this gold mine, or perhaps a back gold mine. I don't think he has one. Almost catching those two out there with that little surround. And we can now see that Rangers coming in here with a couple, sorry not Rangers, Fen coming in here. A couple of these villagers trying to build this town center. But do they have the units to do this? You actually see MG Rangers already gearing up this trade route, auto queuing camel caravans, going to get him a massive income of gold. However, his town center is all the way back here, so mercenaries aren't going to be that effective unless he gets this town center, which is why he wanted it so badly. I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers went straight to the Mythic Age and got Thoth and just started spamming out Thoth shit. 2-6 started researching Secrets of the Titan, so this might be their saving grace, going straight to the Titan Age. We can actually see Civ Boss already through Hecate, so I think that's an interesting move by 2-6. He's going to be able to Helios over to I think it's Civ Boss. He's going to actually be able to Helios over to Civ Boss, who's going to be grabbing this Titan's Gate and then prevent that from doing anything. But however, we can also see that the Tartarian Gate is going to be doing something. Where did he actually plant it though? He actually planted it right inside of TSM plays base. That's going to be a bit of a nuisance for him. He's going to have to retreat and try and deal with that. It's actually sending all those units there, and we have to remember Hoplite have a bonus against buildings, and that is a building. It's going to be able to take that down very quickly. TSM Fen did manage to get that town center up indeed, so it's going to be able to do a fair amount of damage and produce some villages as well. I actually do see him not producing villages from it yet, and he's actually quite low on supply. He doesn't have that many villages either, needs to produce a couple more. I do hope he has them auto-queued. He is actually going through Hephaestus. Not a bad idea considering how hurt his economy is. That's going to get plenty, and it's going to be plenty enough resources. Ha 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 ha. Fun, 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 fun. You see the Titan Gate going down. He does have 9 villages trying to get that up. What's going on with Civ Boss? He's actually 75% complete, and TSM has to know this right now. They definitely have to send like a Pegasus over there or something in order to Helios straight to that that Titan Gate, prevent it from going up. It's really interesting to see where he chooses to place this. He doesn't have any Hesperus trees back at his base, so he can't stop any god powers happening. He actually has it on cooldown as well, so he can't throw one down. I'll be interested to see if they actually do choose to use Vortex to get over onto this, but being said, don't know what his units are doing. What's he? Where is he? Actually has a lot of resources as well. I hope he's grabbing armory upgrades. Stop grabbing armory upgrades. Hate people who don't grab armory upgrades, especially when they have the best economy on their own team. So he just wanted to rush straight to that Titan, but at this point he's already got the Titan, so he can't take any further. So why is he floating so many resources? The biggest thing about low level players, I feel, is that they forget to do things. I made a post on RTS Sanctuary today, and basically it stated that people who are learning to play this game, they generally forget to do things, like they forget to get an upgrade, or they forget to get armory upgrades. They might not think they're forgetting it, but when you get to the 20-minute mark and you're still stuck on archaic upgrades, you know something's gone wrong. Even if you've hit like, yeah, you know something's going on. You're gonna have to get them at some point. You've seen underworld passage going on over here. You're gonna easily stop this Titan Gate from going up. Easily, there's nothing they can do. And it looks like the Titan Gate of 2-6 gonna be fine. MG Rangers does have Meteor. Actually trying to nuke down this town center, trying to make a final push down. However, that is this gold Colossus, not a gold Colossus, just a normal Colossus, going to be able to probably tank some damage and maybe try and kill off Meat Dog Stronghold that's going up over here. And the town center did manage to go down here, and TSM player going to be taking out this fortified town center as well. There's nothing he can do. His army's way out of position. Going to be coming over here and trying to do something. And the next cool thing that can happen right now is Vortex can come over here, kill off this army, take this town center, and they can be an advantage. Have lost this town center though. He's got like all of his villagers trying to rebuild this. He's got a couple of idols though, just chilling there, just saying, nah, I don't want to work, I don't want to work. Need to whip them. Just getting that settlement up. If he can manage to get it up, then he can hold for a little bit longer, produce a couple more units. The story is, all of these merc, he needs to start getting up watchtowers right now in order to deal with this. The counter to merc is in fact watchtowers, if anybody was wondering. And the big thing right now is this gold Colossus taking damage from both sides. Nice usage of the I don't know what it's called, it's just died. Nice usage of the converting to chaotic units, sky units there. It's always, it's like, there it is, it's on Lampades, isn't it? Yes, Lampades. If you control it really well, you can nullify most armies, which have strong meaty units in it, like Colossi or Elephants or anything like that, Myrmidon even. And it looks like Civilized having a little bit of an issue dealing with TSM player here as he's pushing through. Doesn't have the population, he's been spending too many villages right now. And we can see that in Division is trying to take out this town center with all of these medium destroy spend. Doesn't have masons, doesn't have any resources either, that's why it's not rebuilding. Actually he does, he has a couple of resources and they are going down really quickly. He needs to start getting all those units to rebuild that again, and he needs to actually probably ask for some resources from someone on his team. TSM player has a bunch of gold. What's his name? Where's me? Yeah. 2-6 has a bit of wood as well, so he could ask for some resources. So that's the other big thing about 3v3s and team games is distributing resources. You need to choose where to spend your resources. Yes, if you distribute resources, it's going to cost you, but who's going to use the resources better? You with 90 more resources, or them with you with 100 more resources, or them with 90 more resources and you minus 100 resources. So the Bellerophon now picking off priests like he's so good at doing, just jumping over walls like a complete ninja, and going to work really, he knows what's up. It actually looks like this location might be okay for the MG team. He's actually got a bunch of villagers over here trying to prevent them from doing anything. However, they're going to be killing off the Heliopoli while the Colossi do nothing because they're converted to chaotic creations. What else can I talk about? Titan actually is out. He's going to be able to take out this location. There's a bunch of priests here. He needs to get that Bellerophon back out as soon as possible to deal with those. Bellerophon just rapes on hero priests. He just jumps on them and they pretty much die. It's really powerful. With that being said, 7,000 HP on Titan. Regardless of the bonus damage the priests have, 7,000 HP is a lot. MG in Division actually going through the Titan Age right now. He'll be throwing that down as soon as possible. I'm going to be moving a bunch of villagers over to it as well. I'll be interested to see if, no he didn't, he went through the Long God to get that upgrade. I was going to say that the Myth Unit regen tech, to get that Titan back to full HP. Again, this location's staying up for fairly long, which is interesting that he's managed to keep this up. I wouldn't have been surprised if he started to make an attack over on this location right now if he geared that up well enough. But he just keeps on coming through the underworld passage, is content with that. I'm sure he's got villagers really close as well, so he can just garrison in there and repair that instantly because it's a little bit of a bug. The repair rate of an underworld is like the repair rate of a wall. It's ridiculous. And he's not going to have any of this where Civ Boss try and get up a town center. Not going to have any of that with those Colossi and everything else. Lampades, however, picking off that Colossus again, he's really controlling that really nicely. It might be more than his first offer, but it's been worth it in producing multiple amounts of them. As Green in Division does throw down a Titan Gate right over here. Does he have? He actually has the monuments to villages, so that's not going to be an easy one to pick off. However, for Helios around about here, that's out of range, I believe. Let's just go straight to 2-6. Closest point of attack would be there, and we come around probably around about there. That's really close actually, and he is actually, wow, so good, so good. But a little bit of a bug. I don't know what happened, but the underworld came up and the vortex got nullified. As the Silver Colossus can easily be able to come in here and prevent this happening. A granary's getting thrown up in order to prevent these Silver Colossus from coming around. A bunch of these mercenaries coming through as well, seeing what they can do. Just want to know where all of Green's army is, because he vortexed and none of it came. I don't know whether it was a bug or not. Interesting bug nonetheless, I have not seen it. couple of these Arc is going to be dealing really a lot of damage. It's actually true damage, I believe, almost true damage, 95% pierce armor. That's when it's complete. I don't know how it works, but I think it's true damage. They actually deal the full 7 damage per hit, so it's pretty strong. What's the DPS? Yeah, it is 7 damage per second, so it's relatively strong. And finally, the Titan Gate looking a little bit shady, as all of 2-6 army coming in here going to be able to take this down. As the Titan pushing through, Ben actually does have this location secured as well. Villagers coming into the fray now. They don't want this to come up. Are they going to come in and try and kill it, or are they going to build a fortress or something? Movement on in the fray as well, as TSM player not being completely relentless at this location, continuing to kill off. Continuing to prevent this town centre from going up, as a million watchtowers getting thrown up, but all of these colossi are going to be more than enough to deal with that. And this location as well, this is the side builds of Zeus, really powerful stuff. I didn't even think about how strong Underworld is on this map. The Underworld is so strong on this map, it's so huge. You can Underworld from here to here, and if you look at that distance, it's ridiculous. And then Vortex as well as mobility. I really thought that was a smart decision. I'd really like to see this military barracks destroyed so they can come in and more easily attack this. However, the longer it stays down close to this Titan, will get to killing it. Less stuff. Basically, the MG team has to delay this Titan from doing anything. Also, Indivision's got a couple of units over here, which I don't know why. It's not actually helping by staying here. And Indivision has like every single one of his villages over here. How many resources he has? Actually got no gold left. So it's going to be pretty massive for him. If this Titan Gate doesn't go up, it's going to be very hard for the MG team to come back into this game. As heavy elephants coming into the fray, however, there's Mermillion and Champion Hoplites here, more than enough to deal with meager heavy elephants. As a bunch of these Mert coming in here, but that's all these watchtowers. They don't have Kren though. You need to get Kren. Does ridiculous amounts of damage to these mercenary cavalry. It's actually 100% bonus and doing 10 damage per second with 2 bows. I mean 2 arrows from each shot. That's actually 40 damage per second. Ridiculous. And the tracking is it's improved so they don't miss as well, obviously. We can actually see this Titan did manage to take out this town center. It's going to move on to the next one. Just like his role, it's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll kill the boss town center, I'll kill this one. MG Rangers attributing 2k gold to MG Division. How many golds does he have left? Rangers, he actually has 3k left. This is what I was saying. He had this market going. He had this town center though, so it was the right choice, but then he lost it. He had all those mercs just pumping out. So ridiculous. Titan does actually finally manage to get up for the MG team. However, there's two Zeus players, and they've got 2 Bellerophons, a bunch of those other things, what they call a bunch of those Colossi and Myrmidons, which are naturally strong against everything. As this Titan's still managing to do some damage, I don't know what he's doing. If he does want to come over here and kill off this trade route, that'd be pretty nice. We'll see what actually does manage to happen for MG or for TSM. We'll see who manages to win this game. The big story is this town center and why TSM player hasn't managed to actually just build on it. So all of these towers just surrounding it, picking off unit after unit, and it looks like MG boss, Civ boss, is actually coming in to support this with all these elephants as well. They need this position back before they can push over here. They actually did lose this position, so maybe it'll be better just to push a massive push around here because there's not actually that much defending in this location, but a couple of guard towers and a fortress. So the big thing is this Underworld wasn't taken care of. You had the Titan, sent it over here to try and deal with this however. A little bit of micro here, trying to run this Titan away. Be interesting to see the micro fights if a Titan missed another Titan, like if he was moving away. So you could like go in and attack the Titan and then run him away, and if the animations were like quick enough, if you were on the right side of the animation, you could just micro all day. That'd be really interesting for gameplay, but of course, just a fan, I'm not going to be able to get this this game anytime soon, no matter how much you guys petition for it. And I think 2-6 just had enough of this time. Wants to deal as much damage as he can to this Titan over here. One bolt going down on the Titan, so another bolt. There is actually another bolt. So it would have been much better if that happened at the very start, but that's okay. Titan actually almost dead. Ridiculous. A couple of Myrmidon coming in now. They do a lot of damage. Actually, no, he's healing faster than they're doing damage. Okies. So you see this location now getting pushed through. This town center still hasn't been built. Doesn't want to get it. Doesn't want the town center. TSM Ben now going through to the Titan Gate. He's feeling like the Titan, Green Titan of Indivision going to be getting harassed by the Stintillion Bird, the Odysseus, and everything else. We find it like that. The Titan Gate started the 4th fan. Actually throwing that down, getting a lot of villagers on there. What's his resources like? Actually doesn't have any, so this is not a good thing. What you want when you're building a Titan Gate, I mean, they're contributing, but what you want normally is to just have an excess amount of resources so you can continue to build units while you're building that Titan Gate. Excuse me. Ooh, a little bit tired. Alright. Do see this temple going down, and we have a bunch of hero units for 2-6 coming in trying to damage this Titan, trying to kill it. You reckon this town center died again somehow? I don't know how. I know that it was Titan there before, but I would have assumed it would have been back up by now. TSM player now starting a Titan Gate. They both want it. They've had enough. They said, okay, GG boys, time to win. I can start my own Titan Gate. Go get the other one. So you can have 2 Titans to 1 sort of ratio. Look at how badass. Look how badass this Titan is. Look at him. He's got that massive fucking jaw. Like so many, all of the fucking molten coming off him. Who would want a better Titan than that? And crystals coming off him, or whatever they are, emeralds, I don't know. And he do actually manage to pick him off. He does die, and just falls into a lying heap as he sinks into the what's it called, into the ground. It's like he never existed. So it's the race to get the Titans out now. While these guys pushing through, there is this Greek army over here, and it looks like he's actually still pushing through even though he's building a Titan Gate. It's like even though MG Rangers have this ridiculous economy, both of his partners have 1 town center left and no economy, so he's been tributing obviously as much as he can, but he still affords to produce mercenary because RTS is OP. Oh, wow. Actually, now the catapult focusing down the town center. MG Rangers have, it's only got masons. You really need to get architects. At this stage of the game you need architects because buildings die way too quickly to upgrade its siege weapons. It's just too powerful. I really think an interesting game would be a game where you can just continue to upgrade and they just scale, upgrade, scale. So late game really doesn't ever happen because everyone just keeps on having to upgrade. Whoever, you know what I mean. I think that'll be an interesting game. You can unlock copper weapon. Everything is just the standard lowest range, and every time you unlock it, it remakes itself available, and you can unlock it again for a more expensive price, which gives a better bonus or something. You can like run around seeing like 37 damage, heavy toxicos. That'd be sick. Finally, this underworld getting taken out. There's no unit close to it, so he can't actually stop that from happening unless he does choose to send some villagers in there again. It repairs at a ridiculous rate. He can just keep it up there for a fairly decent time. The Titans for both purple and blue almost up now. It looks like Cloud gonna have that Titan out, gonna send him through here, kill off all of this shit, take the town center finally, move through, kill off all this other stuff. Looks like Titan Gate finally going up for MG Rangers, but yes, no villagers near that. I actually got the monuments there. There is no god powers left anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it'll be interesting to see what TSM chooses to do. If they say, okay, well fine, you have your Titan map of 2, or they say, okay, I'm going to prevent you getting that Titan, I'm going to send all my shit over there and stop that from happening. And the big thing is, can Civ Boss and Indivision stop this Titan from wreaking havoc and killing town centers and everything like that. So you see the old Colossus of TSM fan coming here doing ridiculous amounts of damage, as well as the I think they're heroes. The hero destroyer is also doing ridiculous amount of damage to buildings. At this point in the game, any sort of killing unit is kind of pointless. You want to have building killers. You don't want to just run around killing units because you're not going to get anywhere. You want to kill buildings. You can kill buildings, you get map control. Get map control, you get town centers. You get town centers, you win. Or if you kill off a trade route, then you get the town centers. As we see, this town center finally falling for Civ Boss is now currently on 0 zippity doodah town centers. Let's see how many villages. He has one fishing boat. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of idols over here. How many idle villages does he have? Let's actually move them. So he's got a couple of idle villages, but really it's not a big deal. And we do see MG in Division GG out of the game. Are we going to see another one, or are they going to keep on fighting through to the end? Civ Boss has no town centers. MG Rangers, there's a Titan coming out, but it's only on 60%, so you can't be too happy about that one. MG Rangers actually might resign now that all these camels are done. I'm not trading anymore. Unless you're just waiting for the Titan to come out and then resign, which would be kind of funny for them. Like this Titan also looks really cool, Cerberus. They made him like really well back in the day. Sure, there's some issues with the textures and the modeling's a bit iffy, but it still looks really decent. And we do see MG Civ Boss resigning. Let's go over to a Victorious Play screen so I can get the Victorious sound at the end. I don't know if that sound. We finally see this Titan. Is it going to get up? Is this Titan going to get out? He's got 5% left. That's all Rangers are sticking for, and he says, "No, I'm not going to even hang out for it. I'm going to say GG. That's it. 2-0 for TSM, and they take the series." Really, really, really good play by TSM. I thought MG was going to take it for a second there on water, seeing as they won it so handily, but they just played it perfectly and just managed to come back. Oh wow. Anyways, my name is BoIt. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in next time for some more AOM AOT action. If you want to see some new game action, I might start doing some stuff in regarding to Age of Empires Online. If not, I'll just keep on going with the AOM AOT shenanigans. But just remember, regardless of what I do, I'm still going to churn out AOT shoutcasts. Put your requests in the drop down box below. If you have any recorded games, an expert level game you want me to shoutcast, expert level or 1800 plus, it could be your own games, could be someone else's. So long as they're 1800 plus, I will shoutcast them. I just don't want to spend time on a weaker game unless it's to analyze it, because it's not an entertainment value. Any 1800 game which you feel entertaining enough for me to shoutcast, do feel free to send me a link in my inbox. Don't put it in the comment section, just send me an email, and I will read that. Do read every single comment, and it's always appreciated when you guys say stuff in it. Don't forget to like and rate this video, and I'll see you guys next time.